Hi, everyone. I'm Miss Marsh.
Hi, I'm Miss Antis.
And I'm Miss Beatenhorn.
We're all second grade teachers at Lexington Elementary, and today we're going to do a lesson on inferencing. We hope you enjoy.
Hey, Miss Antis.
Hi.
Let's play charades.
Oh, I love charades.
All right, who am I?
Let me see. I think you're a detective.
You're right. I am a detective. But you know what? I didn't tell you I was a detective, so how did you know?
Well, I looked at what you were wearing, and I saw you had on a long black coat, and you had a magnifying glass looking really carefully, like you were looking for something. And in the books I've been reading, they've been talking about detectives, so I know they use magnifying glasses to look for clues. And there's even detective shows on TV like NCIS. And the music gave me a hint, too, because it sounded like you were looking for something really carefully.
Good. I am a detective. And so what you've done is made an inference. And when you make an inference, you take the evidence or the clues, and she gave us the evidence. She said the way I'm dressed, holding the magnifying glass, and you add it to what you already know, which is your prior knowledge or your schema, and you've made an inference.
So, sometimes when we're reading, authors don't always tell us everything we need to know. So we have to learn how to be an inference detective. So today, that's what we're going to do. We're going to practice being a detective. All right, Miss Marsh, how do you think this little boy in the picture might be feeling?
Let's see. I would say sad.
Well, how do you know he's sad?
Well, let's see. He's holding an ice cream cone. Oh, my gosh, look. Here's his ice cream. It fell off.
So we know the evidence from the picture, he's frowning, and we know when people frown, they're normally feeling sad. We don't frown when we're happy. And our schema, our prior knowledge is if anybody was to drop their ice cream cone on the ground, they would be feeling sad. So we can infer that the little boy in the picture is sad because he dropped his ice cream on the ground.
Miss Antis, look what I found in my classroom.
Oh, I wonder what it might be.
Let's see if we can figure out who left it. All right, we have a spoon. A whisk.
These aren't really things I would use in my classroom every day.
Some seasoning.
Hmm.
And measuring spoons.
I wonder who could have came in the classroom and left these things in here. We know that these are things we might use
In the kitchen when we cook.
Yeah, so who might have left these?
Maybe it was Mr. Sam, our cafeteria manager, our chef at school.
So we know that these are things, we can use our evidence, these are things that we saw, and we used our schema. We know these things are used in a kitchen, so we inferred that Mr. Sam came in our room this morning, and he left behind his things probably that he was going to use to make our lunch today. We better get them back to him.
Now we're going to show you how you can be a reading detective using a passage. Kyle ran into his house, slamming the door behind him. He threw his book bag on the floor and plopped onto the couch. After 6 hours of playing Fortnite, he ate some pizza and fell asleep with a slice on his stomach and his feet on his book bag. When Kyle came home from school the next day, he was noticeably distraught. He balled up his report card and placed it inside a soup can in the garbage. He then flipped the soup can upside down in the garbage can and arranged loose pieces of trash over it. As he plopped down on the couch, he let out a sigh and picked up his controller. Miss Antis, why do you think that Kyle is distraught?
So first, I need to make sure I understand what the question is asking me. So I really might not know what this big juicy word distraught means, so I'm going to use my context clues from the story to figure out what that word means first. Well, I know in the story it says he comes in and slams the door. And normally when somebody's happy, they're not normally going to slam the door. And it also says that he threw his backpack on the ground. So I think that distraught means he was probably upset or sad about something. So now I can look at the question and say, why is Kyle sad or upset? So we're going to refer back to the text. And I know, like I said again, he was slamming the door. and he balled up a report card from school. Well, when I come home from school and I've done something really great, I want to walk in and show my mom or dad and say, look what I did, and talk about how awesome it is and maybe put it on the fridge or put it on display somewhere. So I think Kyle is upset because he probably didn't do very well in his report card. That's probably why he balled it up and threw it in the trash can, because he didn't want anybody to see it.
I think you're right.
All right, Ms. Beanhorn. So, was Kyle's report card good or bad, and why was it good or bad?
Like you already answered, from him being distraught because he slammed the door, he threw his backpack on the floor, and he balled up his report card, we would know he's probably not very happy with himself or with his grades. We also know from in the beginning of the passage, they said he played Fortnite for 6 hours, he put his feet on his book bag, so we know he probably didn't do any homework, and if he's not happy with his grades and he's hiding it in the trash can, he probably has bad grades.
Definitely. Good job. And he probably has them because he didn't
Study and he didn't do his homework.
So came home and played Fortnite and threw his backpack on the ground.
That's right. So remember, when you're being a reading detective, look for evidence and add it to your schema so you can have a better understanding of what the author's trying to tell you, because you've made an inference. Now we're going to show you a way that you can make an inference and you might not even know it.
All right, Ms. Beanhorn, let's look at this picture of this baby crying. What can you infer?
Well, from looking at the picture, he's crying. He might be hungry. He could be sad. Those
Good
are all
job.
things that we know.
Absolutely.
So Miss Marsh, if you came in and saw somebody cooking noodles, Mom is in the kitchen cooking noodles in the boiling water, what could you infer?
I would look at my mom and see her putting the pasta in the boiler, and I would think, yum, we're having spaghetti and meatballs, just one of my favorites. So that's what I would infer.
Very good.
What about this zooming fire truck?
Well, if I know his lights are on, he's moving really fast, the siren, there must be a fire or an emergency that they're trying to get to.
Good job.
So remember,
Be a reading detective.